Hello and welcome back to Fashion Bites. I'm Ellen Byerrum, author of the screwball noir Crime of Fashion Mysteries featuring Laceys Smithsonian, a fashion reporter in Washington, D.C., the city that fashion forgot. Today, I'm wondering whether you pay attention to descriptions of clothes in books and literature. I certainly do, and I have some examples that I like. Many people do not care about descriptions of clothing in literature, but there are a lot of us who do, because clothes can tell you about a character's social standing, whether or not they have money, and their mood, as well as many other things. I'm disappointed if the clothing descriptions are missing, and they often are in men's thrillers. I feel cheated. If Cinderella goes to the ball, I want to know what she's wearing, and I want to be able to picture her gown and see the mice who stitched it. I have a few examples of descriptions of clothing from various sources, from a play, a poem, and a book. Descriptions don't have to be extravagant or as poetic as Shakespeare in this first example from the Taming of the Shrew. Forget about the fact that Petruchio is a cruel jerk, and just listen to the words that are quite sensuous. And it's all about the clothes and more. And now, my honey love, will we return unto thy father's house, and revel it as bravely as the best, with silken coats and caps and golden rings, with ruffs and cuffs and farthingales and things, with scarfs and fans and double change of bravery, with amber bracelets, beads, and all this knavery. What, hast thou dined? The tailor stays thy leisure to deck thy body with his ruffling treasure. William Shakespeare. We know Kate and Petruchio are going home in style, and they are wasting no time because he has already engaged the tailor. Of course, you have to read it to see what happens after that, or go see a version of the play. They're all quite different. The next description is from The Highwayman by Alfred Noyes, who is a favorite of teenage girls. It tells you about the title character, that he's dashing, impeccable, and that his clothes are costly, and with his jeweled weapons, he's practically announcing his profession. He had a French cocked hat on his forehead, a bunch of lace at his chin, a coat of the claret velvet, and breeches of brown doe skin. They fitted with never a wrinkle. His boots were up to the thigh, and he rode with a jeweled twinkle, his pistol butts a twinkle, his rapier hilt a twinkle under the jeweled sky. Quite an image. Now, because fashions reflect the times, fashion descriptions in books can tell you about the society and mores, as well as one's position in society. In The Crocodile on the Sandbank, the first book in the Amelia Peabody series by Elizabeth Peters, a wealthy English spinster is dying for adventure, and she becomes an Egyptologist in the course of all the books. She has been restricted by her clothing as well as by her position. In this scene, Amelia Peabody decides to wear a radical garment. As the reader has no doubt realized, female fashion has never interested me. However, while in London, I had learned of the Rational Dress League and had a dress made in that style. It was of slate-colored India cloth with a plain, almost mannish bodice, and a few simple frills at the cuffs as its only ornament. But the daring feature of this costume was the divided skirt. The two legs were so full that they resembled an ordinary kilted skirt and did not give me nearly the freedom of action I desired, but they were a good deal more practical than the so-called walking dresses then in vogue. I had kept this garment at the very bottom of my trunk. In Cairo, I had not quite the courage to wear it. Now I took it out, shook out the wrinkles and creases, and put it on. Amelia Peabody is ready for action here. I have one more example, not because it's extravagant, but because even though it is a very simple description of a dress from my book Killer Hair, you can see how I use the occasional dress in my own collection for my inspiration for my characters. Clothing defines us in our lives and in books. It gives us courage, as this dress did for Laceys Smithsonian in Killer Hair. Lacey worries about what to wear to a meeting with the FBI. Lacey wore a dark blue crepe dress circa 1942 that always made her look good and feel in control. It had a V-neck and 3/4 sleeves. A splash of bright embroidered flowers on the left shoulder and right hip took it out of the ordinary. She hoped it would work today. This passage points out the importance of feeling confident in your clothes. That can make all the difference in how you feel and how you meet difficult circumstances. Clothes can be your suit of armor. Now, I want to point out that this dress is mine from my own clothing collection, and I love the details. A reader paid me the supreme compliment of taking this dress as inspiration and making her own version of the lacy blue dress. If I'd known that, I might have been a bit more elaborate in my description of the dress. But wow, if anybody else is making dresses based on Lacy's clothes, do let me know. That's all I have for now. If you liked this video, please hit the like button below and consider subscribing to this channel. That way you won't miss any. And feel free to comment and share the video. It's not a secret society. If you want to know more about me or my books, check out my website at ellenbyerrum.com. I'm also on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. And I'll see you next time. Bye.